Hi, this is Regina Y Favors with Journaling Your Setback. And so I want to talk about the fifth stage of setback, which is recovery. And remember, my book, Overcoming Setback, will be available August 2021. So any experience with recovery will usher you into an understanding about broken thinking. To recover is to return to a state of health, mind, and strength. But recovery is not always guaranteed. So usually when you are recovering from a setback, there's some sort of gap in your understanding about something. You've already gone through correction, right? So that punishment, pain, correction, etc. But you still need to address the broken thinking, whatever the broken thinking was about that situation. So for instance, if you cheated in your relationship with your partner, with another person, um, outside of your core marriage and or relationship, there's a broken thinking there. Your broken thinking could be, well, um, she wasn't giving me everything I needed, or he wasn't giving me everything I needed, so I felt like I had to cheat to get whatever it is I needed. Well, say for instance, you apply that to everyday life. You're not getting what you need at your job, so you steal time, or you steal, supplies or something like that. Or you don't have the money to buy the dress you want, so you go to the store and you go into the dressing room and you switch out the dresses, and then you walk out the store. You've stolen something, right? It can be a number of things in terms of your broken thinking. And broken thinking is essentially you substituting, you skipping ahead, you thinking that you have to do this, you rationalizing a particular decision that really goes against your own integrity, your own character. And so that actually has to be addressed. Even though you've gone through the other stages of setback, that broken thinking has to be addressed before you can do anything else, because otherwise you would take that broken thinking into the next areas of your life, where just because you may not have had a lot of consequences in your previous areas of your life, meaning that you didn't get caught, you may have a lot more consequences in other areas of your life. The person who goes to jail over fraud later in life, they started fraud somewhere in their previous life, maybe as a child, adolescent, maybe while they were in college, maybe those first 20 years of working on a job. Somewhere they had that broken thinking, and they brought it to the next level because they never received really hard consequences, really sustained consequences. Because if we stole something and we went to jail immediately, we will be less likely to commit that same act again. It is only when we steal something and we don't get the consequences, or someone gives us a slap on the wrist, or someone says don't do it again, or something like that, that we say, okay, well, we have another opportunity to do that thing again. And so it's like the cookie in the cookie jar. You tell your mother you didn't eat the cookie in the cookie jar, but you got crumbs all over your hands and your mouth. And so she addresses that broken thinking by saying, basically, don't eat the cookie in the cookie jar, or just get one cookie, right? But she doesn't tap your hand and say, I told you not to eat the cookie in the cookie jar, or I told you not to get the cookie in the cookie jar, or I told you to wait until dinner, or whatever the instruction is. So the broken thinking moves and in waves, from level to level, from age to age, from time to time, from year to year, to the point where you get to a place in your life, and it's been working for you so much, and you tolerate it so much, that it looks like normal. It is your norm. It is the way that you think. It is the way you believe, not being challenged to the point that someone comes along and says, no, that's really not the way you should do that particular thing. It's like the person who has been driving fast since they were a teenager, and then a cop pulls them over and says, you're not supposed to drive 10 miles past the speed limit or something like that, and they are actually shocked. Broken thinking really is something that can plague your existence once you are actually exposed. And so it's important that you don't let something roll over too long, kind of like a domino effect. So to recover is to return to a state of health, mind, and strength. What is your actual strength of mind concerning that particular situation? I'm not supposed to speed. I'm not supposed to drink to excess, or I'm not supposed to cheat on my wife, or I'm not supposed to cheat on my husband, period. If I feel like I got to cheat there, then I shouldn't be married, right? That's the broken thing. Whereas a person will say, well, there's nothing wrong really with cheating. I mean, if your wife is not doing everything that she needs to do for you, then I don't see what's wrong with stepping out. Then don't get married then. I'm not advocating that you have premarital sex or anything like that, but it doesn't make any sense to commit adultery either. Recovery is not always guaranteed, meaning that it is optional. That recovery sits right there on the bed. It sits right there, accessible to you at any time, or I say at a particular time, at a crossroad moment. And if you don't take it, there is a possibility that you won't recover. And you have a lot of people who lose their lives early, who end up divorced because they waited too long to learn from their mistakes, so the marriage did not recover. You got a lot of people who wait too long to reconcile with a family member, or reconcile with reconcile their lives. Sometimes people stay on drugs too long. There have been recovery options for them, multiple years, someone willing to pay for their treatment, their drug rehab treatment, and they kept dibbing and dabbing and going back and forth like they're playing the hokey pokey game, or they out there on the dodge court or something like that, and they're thinking that they have all the time in the world. And there's nothing in recovery that says that you can come to recovery anytime you want. There's always a set time to learn what it is that you need to learn, so that when you do move forward, you will have that knowledge going forward. You can't skip ahead of recovery. You can't skip ahead to something else thinking that it's just going to satisfy the thing, the concept of recovery. When you have an opportunity to recover, meaning that you are taking time to yourself, you're not getting involved with anybody, you're learning the lessons you need to learn, you are limiting your distractions, or setting boundaries, whatever that is for you, and you can feel it within yourself that you are in recovery. You don't have to have had a substance abuse problem to go through recovery. You can be a person who jumped from romantic relationship to romantic relationship and have been doing so since high school, and never actually been by yourself to rest your mind. And so you may need to take some time to think about your decision making when it comes to relationships, or when it comes to finances, or when it comes to other types of issues, health issues, economy issues. You may need to start making more money, not because you desire money, but because you're not making enough where you are. And that recovery might be that you need to change your broken thinking about work ethic, moving yourself out of a state of mind that is not working for you or has stopped, and it's time for you to move forward. So journaling your setback, 5th stage of setback recovery. Just remember that Whatever broken thinking you have, it has to be addressed before you go on to greater battles. That means you want to recover in your health, your mind, and your strength. And don't wait too long, because recovery is not always guaranteed. Thank you for listening to this audio.